Hello, Mr. Timothy, and welcome back to Heart of Iron 4, where today we're going to be focusing on some focuses. Well, you see, this is a series I started called Focus to Z, where we check out all the nations in the game from alphabetical order who have focus trees and do the paths nobody really does because A, they're either bad, or B, there's just something better to do. And today, it's Norway. Oh, you're looking pretty good, Johan. Pretty good indeed. Now, picking which path to do as Norway today is going to be a bit of a troublesome one because I don't actually know which the bad paths are. I think I've only played a couple Norway games. I did the communist path and I did the monarchist path. The monarchist path, I hear, is the best one you can do. Honestly, off the top of my head, I guarantee Quisling's coup and going down that path is probably one of the worst things you can do, but it also kind of overlaps with the monarchist path we've already done down here, so I might try something different. I think the path I want to actually do unironically is the historical path, and I like how you actually select the historical path because obviously Norway did capitulate to the Germans. Also, this side is highlighted, but not today. We shall not fall to the German. I have heard going down the democratic path for Norway does turn out to be pretty worthwhile as you get a very good economy, and I want to use that economy today to sell everyone guns. Yeah, I kind of want to usurp Sweden's role today as the international arms dealer. He looks different. Okay, we're already getting destroyed by our conscription because people do not want it because we're missing one war support. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get quick improvisation, spend our XP already so that we get our command power up as quick as possible. So after that, we sent a attaché to Spain. We waited for Japan to declare on China to get our war support up even more from the world tension. And boom, there you go. We can now go straight up to partial mobilization. All right, next up, we've just been developing our land and now we can go ahead and also modernize our armed forces, which will get rid of our absolutely terrible debuff, which is obsolete armed forces. It's not very good. Okay, Germans have kicked off, which means we're next, unfortunately. All right, so the defense is prepared, but I am going to need to immediately up my conscription as soon as I can because we don't have too many troops here. Okay, here comes the Germans. Of course, I'm immediately going to get myself into the Allies, put that conscription right up, and now pray for the best. Now, if we need to, we can deploy militias and everything we've built up here, but we're not gonna go ahead and do that just yet. I think we may be fine. The one thing we're gonna have to deal with pretty quickly here is these German submarines. I don't want to risk actually sending my navy out to patrol because the Germans, I imagine, will immediately sink what we have. I am, however, gonna go ahead and send my own submarines out to go raid in the North Sea. And I guess the Channel too, just to try and catch like any Axis convoys that are around there. And hopefully if the German Navy does pop out, because I'm strike forcing there as well, that the UK Navy might also come and support me. Hopefully. I am relying on the AI here, so it's not likely. Right, German naval invasion has arrived. Oh, and also the Italians, apparently. I guess it doesn't matter what I said about the Navy. It no longer exists. We did get the port here, but I think we should be able to push them out as long as we force attack them here. Yeah, they're just gonna lose all those units in there, which is, you know, that's fine for me. Nice. Port secured and like 8 German divisions no longer alive. Shout out to the Australians, the only allied division to actually help me out here. I say help me out. They're just standing there as I kill the Italians. Interesting to see, just from all the failed naval invasions, what the casualties I actually get up to here. Also found that it's pretty important to get actual forts down as well, because like the Germans are doing here, they will land on like this empty tile right here and then attack into it, which means the naval fort is completely pointless. Now, like I said, this game, after we obviously consolidate our hold, is going to move very quickly over to the international market. You see, I don't really have too much manpower, so actually getting too much done here in terms of our actual army is going to be a little bit difficult. So instead of wasting all of our own equipment and manpower and stuff like that, we're just going to put it on the market and let whoever wants to buy it buy it. Obviously, with your nations currently fighting off a invasion every 2 seconds, that might seem a little bit difficult, but I'm not too worried about the chances here. Now, I really want to pivot mostly into planes. I think this is something that AI is always going to need. The only issue is that I'm also going to need rubber to do it, and I thought I could overland it from the British Malaya, but apparently not. I can get it from Siam and the British Raj, but that's not exactly going to cover it. Well, technically for now, it will in fact that cover it, but I was hoping for a little bit more. Would you look at that? I was just testing out whether or not anyone actually wants to buy my damn things, and the Polish would love to buy my brand new fighters. Meanwhile, on the front lines, Norwegian Defense Force desperately asking for some air support. Now, shout out to the 11 Hungarian divisions that just landed in Norway. You're never leaving Norway. Wait, hold on a second. They're attacking me through neutral Sweden. Okay, so, you know, technically, some of you will be leaving because I didn't realize you had mill access through Sweden. Oh, it's actually just the Germans, by the way. The Hungarians didn't make it. Occasionally, the AI will also just lend lease me stuff. I'm just immediately throwing all that stuff on the market as well. Yeah, we may have a bit of a corruption issue over here in Norway. I've kind of been a bit too focused on selling all my crappy equipment to realize that we might have a new front opening up over here. Oh yeah, the Russians just absolutely collapsing way harder than I've seen ever before recently. The Germans taking this out as well will knock my overland trading out as well, so we're probably gonna have to move to convoys, which ain't gonna be great. I am bombing the German submarines with naval bombers that I have made, and once those submarines are gone, these will be on the market. Just remember that, boys? But they can only really guard my coast here, so I'm kind of hoping I'm spawn camping a lot of the German submarines as they come out. They've only got 4 to 6, so I think it is working. So our shipping might be protected, and we're not fighting the Japanese, so it definitely should be. Oh, Vichy also joined in on the fighting too now, and I guarantee they're probably also going to start naval invading me. Everyone wants me dead. Now, the specific part of the focus tree that we actually went down was supposed to be a capitulation one. Obviously, the capitulation stuff, not very good. It's also not very hard to not capitulate, so the fact they have a whole branch for this is kind of funny. I do gotta say though, the economic buffs you get as Democratic Norway are very nice. We get a 30% civilian factory construction speed right there, which alone, I mean, you're like, 30%, that's not too much, nothing crazy. But because we developed our states and have that modifier, we also get another 25%, so that is 55% extra. It's insane. On top of the fact we also have our construction tech up here, that's 90% construction speed for civilians. The only downside being obviously that we don't really have anywhere to build. But where we do have to build, we build really fast. Well, just for civilians. The mill factories not as fast, I can tell you that much. But the civilians, oh baby, does it add up. Oh yeah, I forgot as well. Also, we've got a guy over here in our mill theorist who just gives 10% civilian factory construction speed as well. I don't know what he's doing over here, but he's chilling. Oh, you know what? We can also whack that up another 20% if we get Johan Anderson over here. I mean, it will knock our war support down by 15, but it's not like that's going to make too much of a hit right there. So, yeah, you can definitely get quite a few buffs for your civilian factories. You know what? Screw it. We're just going to go fully in on the civilian factories just for the meme of it here. And, you know, we don't really need too many mills anyway, because we're only just producing planes to sell them. And obviously, everything we sell does come back to us and also makes our construction faster. Yeah, I don't think I need to tell you the math right there on just how insane all that is right there. Well, the Soviets capitulated in 1942. Okay. I don't know what bizarro world we are currently living in, but how did that just happen? I think we may have to build more forts. Yeah, not too sure what was in the German cereal this morning, but it must have been something pretty good. But to be fair, with the Soviets out of this now, I think I might be the only way to actually turn this around. And the way I'm turning it around is slowly wiping out each German division one by one. So dumb. I just realized you can get another 15% construction speed over by doing your Norsk Hydro. Also 10 aluminum. Okay, yeah, I think we've all definitely been sleeping on this right here. Now, I think with how fast you can actually churn out these civilians as well, it's probably actually even faster if you build civilians and then convert them if you get the conversion tech, instead of just building mill factories. That way, you can actually keep your highly developed little modifier on your states, because that that does give you a debuff on mill factory construction, but you can get rid of it by raising your militia up. But if you don't, I mean, you can just keep on churning those civs. Okay, it is kind of funny though. Everyone else is, you know, trying to win this thing. I'm building capitalism simulator over here. And yes, we are still churning out and selling those planes. Yeah, now the industrial land appropriation will give us more building slots, which we do need, but it is going to eventually tick down our stability and our war support. It doesn't matter too much, but you can only do this so much before, like there, it will no longer give you any more. But that is pretty much our building limit at this point. So we do have some landings in Europe. If you can call them that, they're a little bit sketchy, but this does give me a little bit of hope that the Allies can still somehow bring this back. And if need be, I'll take some of the planes that I'm currently selling to build more factories to actually give them some air support. I do want to think that somehow me just wiping out 6 German divisions at a time is slowly adding up, but I'm yet to really see the effects. Since I ain't building too much, whenever the Allies do get a landing, I'm just building ports on everything they take. Either they'll get a new landing on said ports, or, more realistically, or just give them more supplies so they don't keep dying. Oh, fairly interesting. Just ran into the Japanese fleet off my coast. I don't think I'm even fighting them yet, but the British just took out a part of their navy there. So I always forget about this feature, but as Norway, you can refit your convoys just like you can with Iceland into destroyers. And you can actually do it en masse, so we can do a whole bunch of them, and it will take us 105 days, which is a little bit of a while, but if we ever do run too low on manpower, we can spam out 10 of them and get 2,500. Not that bad. Also, yeah, things are still going well over, if you can't tell. I don't know if I'm helping at all in the world. I am producing, like, the meta planes and the stuff that you want to build. I just don't know if that's really going to change the tide of this. Okay, I found out I could just politely ask Churchill, who has stopped off at Markwards by the looks of things, for a little bit of land. So now I own Tripoli down here, and I'm going to go ahead and switch my occupation law over to local autonomy so I can get that compliance gain and see if we can get a collab government by the end of this. Managed to actually catch that, but just as they got into the civil war there, I actually just asked the UK for Rome, and they gave it me. So guess who got a free Italian puppet? I don't really plan on using it or doing anything with it, but it is kind of funny that I just sniped that. But yeah, anyway, back to staring at Norway and this screen. Hey, look at that. Yeah, the Italians finally technically made it over to Norway. I just took their entire army and put it on my garrison. Okay, scratch what we said about Italy. I'm annexing them because I need more room to build stuff to sell. Oh, you know, I didn't even realize it was 1948 until I saw Vienna disappear off the map. Ever since I annexed Italy, though, the Allies are pulling out, so I'm gonna have to go get some units over there to go defend that front as well. Oh yeah, also, I never really looked at the casualties and what we've actually caused. So we've taken 128, which is not great. We have had to actually push them out of the ports and stuff, so that does make sense. Oh my god, but look at that. 700,000 Germans just from invading. And then I guess we didn't do too much on the Italians, so we're under 380k on those. Hey, but you know, I'm not complaining. 700,000 casualties just from the naval invasions. Surely that's gotta hurt, right? Alright, I just realized after I annexed the Italians, I got a whole bunch of random equipment that they've accumulated, so I'm just gonna whack that all on the market for dirt cheap. You know, sure, I might be just selling stuff this entire game and building civilian factories, but at the same time, I do occasionally do something cool. I am finally fighting the Japanese, and I just took out the Hosho. It was just hanging out in the straits over here. Uh-oh. I think I'm, about to be mocked. It's pretty funny. I mean, I have been a bit confused whether or not I'm actually helping here, but I am selling a ton of planes, and they are getting used, clearly, because there is a lot of green air all over the world. Okay, 1950. How is it looking for the Allies? Are they making any progress? Yes, they are, but they're certainly not making fast progress. As such, we're going to have to invest all of our plane profits into something else. Oh, never mind. I don't know what just woke up in the Allies, but they are moving, which is a real shame because I'm 278 days away from something quite large. Because, well, the AI is still just buying more and more stuff off of me. They're even buying the crappy Italian stuff that I actually took, so, you know, it does work. You know, I'm kind of disappointed I'm not going to be able to use my special Norwegian bomb. Although, actually, I just remembered there's some stuff going on over here. Oh yeah, also remember that button where you get 10 destroyers for your convoys? Well, I've been pressing it this whole time, and I got 150 destroyers up here. Currently currently refitting them all as well. So it's going to take a while, but we're going to see if we can make them a bit better. It's not exactly the most beautiful of peace deals, but that ain't my problem. Okay, I mean, just from the Italian ships that I got after annexing my puppet down there, I've got quite a few battleships. I also stole some of the German ships as well, and then of course we've got all our refitted destroyers. Are they any good? Probably not, but we're gonna go play with them anyway. Okay, the fleet is out, and will it actually accomplish something? It will. I mean, those destroyers do get absolutely shredded, but I've got so many of them, I don't think it matters. I actually have like another 60 of them over here too that I haven't converted all of them by the looks of it. Some of them are converted. Oh yeah, only 3 of these are converted. So you know what? It doesn't really matter too much at this point. I'm just gonna go ahead. I'm gonna whack them over there and we'll see what they do. Oh yeah, Japanese fleet is disappearing. It's funny too because look, it's all the refitted destroyers that are actually getting the kills there. Now, not on that one, but for the actual like wiping up the light ones, it is. Oh yeah, okay. Well, that is just absolutely disgusting right there, you know. Now, essentially you just turn these things into crappy little torpedo boats, but they do the job nice. Okay, the British have actually landed in Japan, so I don't think we're gonna have time to actually get this thing out. I mean, we might, but I'm gonna go ahead and send my army over there too. Oh yeah, by the way, business has literally never been better. Oh, there they go. And that was my final prize of this entire game. I get to own Hokkaido. All right, Truman, you've gone too far. But yeah, I guess that's it. That was our arms peddling game as Norway. As you can still see, we're still making plenty of sales. Yeah, I think Norway specifically is very fun if you do what I did and just go full like economy with the whole thing. It does work out pretty well. You get the insane buffs as I showed off. But the historical path is definitely nothing too special, especially because it does kind of require you to capitulate just to get a few more stuff over here. But personally, I didn't think that would be very fun. I think for the most part, this is just for the AI, just to do something, I guess, after they've capitulated. But it's definitely not how I'd recommend you play. It's way, way more fun just to actually hold out against the Germans and the Italians and the Hungarians sometimes, and just to go into capitulation and hang out in Jan Mayen for the rest of the game. And yeah, you can get your economy pretty strong and make a lot more economy by selling your economy, because that is a bustling business. But yeah, I don't recommend playing this path in particular. I mean, maybe if this seems real interesting to you, you could try it out, but just bear in mind, if you do what I did, you'll be playing till 1952 with nothing really to show of it.